All right, I want to bring in from Walser Wealth Management, Rebecca Walser, the president there. Rebecca, so you have the UAE and Saudi Arabia. Apparently, they didn't even pick up the phone initially when this began, when President Biden called. And they did pick it up for Vladimir Putin. And then earlier, about 4 hours ago, the UAE did an about-face because they told the U.S. ambassador that maybe they would pump more oil. Now they said, no, they're not going to. So in the meantime, the administration and Democrats are laying it on pretty thick. They're going after American oil companies. They're saying that they're profiteering. I just want to lay out a few facts. ExxonMobil, gross profits peaked in June 2012 at $34 billion. That was for 3 months. It was a lot of money, $112 billion for the year. Then came the bust cycle for oil. Profits sank. It was only $41 billion for the entire year, 2016. Here's the rub. More recently, profits declined for the company 17% in 2019, down 42% in 2020, and up 1% last year. So where's the profiteering, and why should we be beating up on an American company that hires Americans and keeps oil prices lower?
Because, you know, Charles, if it's not green, it's mean. And that's the bottom line for this administration. If it's not a green technology, I mean, you know, when you have their administration representatives saying that the only way to basically get to green is to basically end all fossil fuel consumption, these people are living, you know, 25 years in the future while we're all stuck in 2022 and saying, where is the gas? Because we don't have enough electric vehicles on the road, less than 10% saturation on EV. Yeah. And it's not going to get there anytime soon, Charles. This is honestly, Charles, I'm going to tell you this. It almost seems like a way to force us off of fossil fuels. If I didn't know any better, this is the way I would design the world to end their fossil fuel use, because just shut down everything, have a war with the second largest producer, used to be the second largest producer, now the first, you know, and cut them off. Shut down your domestic oil. Don't let the UAE or the OPEC nations give us more oil. What are we going to do? We are about to be in the middle of an energy crisis, the size that, you know, we never had in the 70s and 80s with the oil embargoes. This is a nightmare.
Rebecca, prices are going up. There's no doubt. We saw the CPI report today. One thing I pointed out, though, is that PPI is growing almost at over 100% faster than CPI. And I bring that up because beef packers, right, they've been in the crosshairs of the administration. Obviously, their prices are higher, but it does not equate to higher profits. And so when you start to think about this, if we're going to go after profits or, you know, higher prices and somehow suggest it's profiteering, these companies are struggling, and I think it's going to start hitting their stocks. What do you think about this with respect to where the market is, where valuations are, knowing that profits are going to get dinged?
Yeah, I mean, Charles, people don't understand how oil affects anything. I sent you basically a little clip that say, hey, you know, corn is becoming uneconomical. There's so much fertilizer for an acre of corn, which is a petrochemical, right? So it's a petroleum-based product, that now corn is becoming uneconomical. People are going to switch to soybeans. The problem with that is corn produces all of our meal for our livestock. So that's going to further exacerbate prices. Everything is connected around energy, and that's probably why a lot of people don't like all of these industries. But this is where we're living right now, and you can't just stop it full stop without alternatives. And that's where they're headed. And they're demonizing, you know, like you said, if the cost of inputs, if the cost of doing business goes up, at a certain point, Charles, this is not communism, this is realism, this is economics. You have to raise your cost to the consumer. It's the bottom line. So we know as
And then at some point, the consumer, the consumer's not going to be able to pay for it. So, I mean, we know that too. That's what's happening with the market. All right, Rebecca, great seeing you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Coming up, folks, I got a panel of experts.